Good evening, FSU weather. I'm student meteorologist Ian Muchler here. Taking a live look at a gorgeous sunset outside of Doak Campbell Stadium. We've got current temperatures at 61 degrees with a light wind at 7 miles per hour out of the west. Here's a look at those current temperatures. 60 degrees here in Tallahassee, 59 up in Quincy, 55 all the way up in Thomasville. So low 60s to upper 50s here across the tri-state area. And here's our Tallahassee Radar. As we can see, we are dry, which is a stark contrast to what we saw last week. And as we're looking at today's headlines, cooler temperatures and maybe a slight rain chance are returning this Saturday. Unreasonably warm highs in Los Angeles for that Super Bowl and an atmospheric river here in Alaska.
Good evening and welcome into FSU Weather, our Wednesday edition, and it is the week leading up to Super Bowl 56. So we have a lot of eyes on that, a lot of attention, and the host city for that will be Los Angeles. So if you are in the Los Angeles area, you're in for a special treat tonight because we will be taking things to your city. And here in Tallahassee, we have been very dry and nice today. That's a stark contrast to the gloomy, overcast conditions we've seen for quite a while, and that has even brought some rain into our area, but we're finally drying out, and the trends are staying dry as we head throughout the next week. So that is great for outdoor activities, and you also will get some temperatures to rebound, so it won't be as cold when you walk outside. A little bit more of that Florida heat that we are used to. So a lot of nice dry weather on the way, a lot of things you could do with that this weekend. Super Bowl weekend might be inside, but you could take things outside if you have a party or anything like that, and it should be a fairly nice weekend. So, Allie-Ann, we have a lot in terms of dry weather to talk about, and it's pretty nice out there.
Yeah, it is definitely nice here in the Big Bend right now. We have a big high pressure system over us, keeping us dry, keeping us cool. So right now here in Tallahassee, it is a kind of chilly 61, or at least I say it's chilly. It is sunny, no clouds, and we do have a wind coming from the west at 7 miles per hour. For our Tallahassee radar, we have nothing going on. Actually, you do see these little things pop up. That's just ground scatter. So it's actually no rain or anything on the radar. Just little bits of the radar is picking up. The almanac for today here in Tallahassee, we're pretty on par with our average temperature around this time of year, sitting at 64 today and 67 on average, but our low is way below the average of this time of year. We did not get anywhere near our records that were reached in the 90s and 1800s. Current temperatures here in the Big Bend, we are in the 50s, upper 50s here in the Georgia area, and then as we move into Florida, we are going into the 60s. A nice 60 here in Tallahassee. On the coast, we are at 58 degrees in Apalachicola. Dew points were pretty dry with that high pressure really pushing out all that moisture, so we're seeing about a 30 degree difference between the dew points and the actual temperature. So very dry conditions, and we're going to see those dew points still stay low because we don't have any rain. So our future radar, like I was saying, that high pressure is really pushing out all that moisture I've been talking about. So you're not going to have anything come up on the radar. We are going to see a little bit of cloud cover develop tomorrow afternoon. Tonight's forecast, we are going to dip into the 30s across the entire Big Bend. So nice cool 35, but clear conditions, but as we move our way to the coast, we are going to pick up into the 40s. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to be in the 60s again, the upper 60s actually. We're going to reach 70 here in Quincy, and then on the coast, we are going to be a little bit cooler with those sea breezes we're going to experience later in the day. Tonight here in Tallahassee, we are going to get down to a chilly 34, so you might want to bundle up, but we do have very clear skies and very minimal wind. As for tomorrow here in Tallahassee, our temperature is going to be 69, mostly sunny, so great time to get out, great walk to class, just great conditions all around. And for our week ahead, we're going to see these temperatures still staying up, and we're going to have those clear skies. Might have a little bit of cloud cover this weekend, but really going to have a clear week ahead.
Certainly looks a lot better than it did last week when we had those cold fronts come in and bring us some rain as well. We're zooming out to Florida right now. Most of the state is clear, except for the southeastern portion of the state. So near Miami, there are some showers just offshore moving towards the northeast over the Bahamas right now. But for the rest of the state, it is very dry. If you look over towards the panhandle of Florida, again, not a cloud in the sky, and even down in the peninsula of Florida, it's not really until you get down towards Miami. And zooming closer look into the Big Bend and panhandle of Florida, there are nothing on radar to speak of right now. There are a few showers that look like they just formed over much of Georgia and Alabama, but those are quickly dissipating, again, courtesy of that drier air across much of the area. But Panama City Beach right now is a beautiful 57 degrees, if you like that temperature, of course, under sunny skies with looks like it will be a very nice sunset behind me right there at 57 degrees, again, under sunny skies. The wind is light out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. The Apalachicola Radar does show very dry conditions across the northern part of the state. I mean, maybe a few little spits of showers, perhaps, especially near the coast, like down near the Nature Coast. But again, those are not organized at all. And for our North Florida radar, for you friends in Jacksonville, it is dry over there once more. We do have some, looks like some cluster, or some scattering, I should say, offshore. Those aren't showers, at least what it appears to be over there. And over in Gainesville right now, looks like it already had a sunset with those pinks and purples in the background under not a cloud in the sky, very clear skies at 60 degrees and under sunny conditions right now with a brisk, or I should say a light wind out of the north-northwest at 3 miles per hour. Our South Florida radar does show those showers are exiting places like Miami and Miami-Dade County up into the Boca Raton, moving off towards the northeast. So those will bring a few showers right now over places like Freeport in the Bahamas. Further off towards the west, there are clearing skies over places like Naples, Fort Myers, and Marco Island. Miami right now does show those clouds in the sky, courtesy of those showers offshore, but it's still a gorgeous time to be out there with 65 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, I would say, with a light wind out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Our current temperatures across the state shows those 50s and 60s from about I-4 north and those mid-60s from about I-4 south, so about Miami with seeing those 65 degrees in Key West. Our current dew points are dry, especially from about Alligator Alley up to the north. And if you are in Miami, it'll be about 60 degree dew point, which is more muggy than we are here in the Panhandle. Tonight in Florida, we will see 30s and 40s up along the I-10 corridor, and 50s and 60s as you go towards Central and South Florida. So it'd certainly be a cool night tonight across much of the area. But tomorrow in Florida, we'll see temperatures in the 70s and possibly touching near 80 as we get towards Miami.
Thank you very much, Aaron. So yeah, let's zoom out a bit into the southeast and see what we got going on. Here's a few aerial cams from around the southeast. Down here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, we've got a beautiful sunset going on up there. Over here in Virginia, we do have a bit more cloudy skies, but closer here to home in Atlanta and Gainesville, we got two beautiful sunsets making their way across the southeast right now. Currently in the viewing area, it is 61 here in Tallahassee. Making our way down south, we have similar temperatures in the mid to low 60s down in the Panhandle and Peninsula of Florida. A bit to our north, we've also got similar temperatures, a high of 70 here in Shreveport, so that's pretty high as well. Over here in Charleston is our low point at 55. The sun has set over there in South Carolina right now. Our dew points are relatively dry because of that high pressure system that's sitting right here in the Gulf, controlling all of the weather here in the southeast. Of course, down in Miami, we are seeing those showers right now. That's going to keep those dew points higher because there's more moisture in the area. But even up here in Nashville, 21 as our dew point there. Very dry conditions. Our southeast radar is clear for a majority of the southeast, including the Panhandle, Alabama, and Georgia. But moving a bit towards the south in the peninsula here, South Florida is going to see those showers that are starting to move across the coast, off coast right now, offshore. Those are going to only impact them for the next hour or so. Zooming in a bit, we can see those areas where the rain is starting to move across right now, all the way down from the Everglades, Key Largo, all the way up through Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach County. Those showers are making their way off the coast right now. Over the next 24 hours, we're going to see a similar story. No rain for the southeast. All those showers near South Florida are going to make their way out. You may see a few pop-ups throughout the day, but over the next 24 hours, we're not going to see any rain on the land in the southeast. So that's good news if you're trying to get out, especially as we head into this weekend. Friday, Saturday, we're going to have beautiful weather for some outdoor activities. much better than the rainy conditions that we've been seeing, cloudy conditions. And temperatures are going to be pretty high relatively since what we've been seeing the past month. I know today we got up to about 66 maybe, so it's starting to feel warmer out there. Hopefully that will continue, but it is still winter here, so those trends are going to continue. Over the next 24 hours, tracking our rainfall, we're not going to see any across the southeast, only a bit to our north up there, but that's not concerned with us. So reiterating what I said earlier, it is going to be a great latter week and weekend to get out there and do some outdoor activities. As for tonight, temperatures are going to dip down pretty low. 34 here in Tallahassee, same in southern Alabama. Moving across to the south, Orlando is going to be sitting at 43 as their low. Miami's still going to be a bit rainy with their low at 56, so a bit warmer down there. But across the majority of the southeast, we are going to see lows in the mid to upper 30s. And as for tomorrow, those temperatures are going to start to shoot up. 69 here in Tallahassee, 65 in Atlanta, 77 down in Miami. Beautiful temperatures, dry conditions, can't complain at all. But for now, we're going to start to learn about atmospheric rivers at the desk.
Thanks, Josh. And we'll take a quick trip up to the Pacific Northwest, where we do have that atmospheric river, which will bring a lot of precipitation to places like Alaska and Canada.
Yeah, so what you want to know is, what is an atmospheric river? So atmospheric rivers form over tropical regions where the water temperature is very high, so that water evaporates into the atmosphere, and those strong winds will carry that water vapor to areas over land, and those water droplets will condense and form precipitation over land.
And again, up to 5 inches of snow is possible in places like Valdez, Alaska. 1 to 3 inches are also possible, and for rain for places of the places like Juneau in Alaska, and flooding concerns as well for the southeast Alaska into Thursday as we progress with that atmospheric river across much of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, so you're really going to see that how those rains are coming up from the tropical region and bringing a lot of that water vapor and condensing over the little panhandle peninsula area of Alaska and just dropping massive amounts of rain and snow.
Looks like a lot of it on radar right there, on future radar for places like the Aleutian Islands right there. But I mean, places where you can see places like in Juneau and Anchorage could see much needed snow and rain across much of those areas. And you can see on the precipitable water, I should say, a lot of that plume of moisture coming in from the tropics all the way down to places from like near the equator. So long journey there, all the way up to places like Alaska.
Yeah, so what you really want to see on this radar right here is where all that moisture is coming up from the tropical regions. So all that water there is a lot warmer, the atmosphere is a lot warmer, so all that water is just going to evaporate and really follow this path where those strong winds are pushing it north, and then once it reaches that colder region overland, they do condense and form that rainfall that we are seeing on the radar.
So if you are in places like Alaska or Canada, so do make sure you do stay prepared, because you could see some weather delays, especially across the coastal sections where we do have the highest wind threat possible across those areas. But really across much of southern Alaska, even as far as the Aleutian Islands, all the way even places, maybe even the Pacific Northwest, could see some impacts from this atmospheric river. So again, do keep in mind, or do heed any warnings possibly with any flooding concerns or anything like that, or any significant accumulation.
Yeah, so definitely these kinds of atmospheric rivers, bringing these conditions to the Alaska area, it's definitely going to affect fishing, crabbing, all sorts of activities like that, bringing in so much rain and snow. It's just kind of, I don't know, unheard of in a way.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad we don't have those conditions here in Florida that frequently, because it would be certainly very, very dreary, I should say. But luckily, we're not that far north, and we won't see that snow here. But certainly, we're certainly playing for a good game, of course, in LA, and it should stay far to the north from affecting the game over there. But I'll take things over back to the wall.
Yeah, thank you very much. So now we're going to take a look at Los Angeles, which is the home of the Super Bowl this weekend. So as we're seeing here, there are so those highs aren't loading, but we are seeing record heats here in Los Angeles, and that will continue through the weekend into that Super Bowl. So the average right now is 66 degrees with a low of 50, but as we'll take a look in a second, some of these temperatures are reaching well into the mid 80s to the upper 80s. So with that record being 88 in 2016, we're definitely getting near those record temperatures. And here are those temperatures I was talking about right now. 80 in Los Angeles, 89 down in Long Beach. That's quite warm. 85 in Riverside, 89 up here in Burbank. So once again, the story across the Los Angeles area is those warm temperatures, and those will continue through Sunday for that Super Bowl weekend. And here's our dew points right now. It is very dry. 29 degrees in Los Angeles, 22 down in Long Beach, 9 up here in Burbank. So dew point again is a measure of moisture. The farther away it is from the actual temperature, the more dry it is. So right now we're seeing upwards of a 40, 50 degree difference between the dew point and the temperature, meaning it is very dry. So here's our satellite and radar. As we can see, dry. There is really not anything here, maybe some clouds up here to the north, but really across the Los Angeles area, we're not seeing any rain or clouds on satellite radar. So again, a dry heat, but still definitely warm for this time of year. Again, here's that zoomed out view of the satellite and radar. Maybe some clouds up here to the north, up near San Francisco and the northern area of California, maybe into Nevada. But for the Los Angeles area, which is down here where that big game is this weekend, we are seeing dry and warm conditions. And here's a look at that future radar. Once again, more of the same, really. Maybe some clouds up to the north, but the Los Angeles area will be staying dry and warm as we go into the weekends. And with that excessive heat right now, we are seeing a heat advisory for the Los Angeles County until 6 p.m. on Sunday, which is when our Super Bowl is forecast to kick off. 85 to 90 degree highs for the next week. So for February in California, definitely quite warm temperatures here. And here's a look at that Super Bowl forecast. 74 for that night, mostly clear. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles is half indoors and half outdoors. So once again, even if it was raining, it probably wouldn't affect it too much. But anyways, we've got a big game this weekend. It is supposed to be quite warm for SoFi Stadium, and the Los Angeles Rams do have a chance to win a home Super Bowl, which the Bucs, I believe, are the only team to have ever done that last year. So big weekend for Los Angeles, warm weekend for Los Angeles. Quite warm here for this Sunday. Hopefully, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you might be able to check out the game, get your game plans on. It will be a gorgeous weekend, maybe a little warm, but anyways, I will be tossing things off to Josh for the National.
Thank you so much, Ian. Hopefully we've got a good game for us in store this weekend over there in LA. So there goes the LA forecast that Ian was talking about, but we're going to move over nationally right here in a second. There we go. Perfect. Here's the United States of America. Pretty typical temperatures down here in the southeast, ranging from the mid-50s to upper to mid-60s. As we make our way north, you can see that temperature gradient as that color changes from green to blue. As we head into the upper 30s and lower 40s over there in the northeast, and out to the west in Seattle and Billings, we are in the lower 50s as well. Minneapolis is sitting at a cool 30 degrees right now. Our dew points telling us how dry the air is right now. Across the nation, we do have relatively very dry air because we're not going to see a lot of rain across a majority of the United States, really, except for a couple of winter weather advisories that we are going to see up here, North Dakota and Minneapolis area as well, over there in the northeast. But we are going to see these lower dew points because it is dry across our nation right now, drier than it's been pretty much all winter. These high pressure systems are keeping things dry in the Pacific Northwest right now and heading down into the southwest. Over here towards the east coast, we have this cold front that's not bringing a lot of precipitation, but you can see some moving across right now, dipping into Iowa and eventually into Missouri, making its way across the Great Lakes in this occluded front, which is bringing a bit more moisture towards the Atlantic region. Down here in the southeast, we don't have any fronts, so our weather is very dry right now. Taking a look at our upper-level water vapor, this is going to tell us exactly where all that vapor is. Down here to the south, this bright orange color is the driest air that we're going to see. So that is making its way through our area right now, eventually into South Florida. Once that moisture starts to move out of the area, which we've been keeping an eye on throughout the day. Up here to the north, we do have a bit more moisture associated with those fronts in the Atlantic region, and out to our west in Denver, of course, we do have some snowfall. That's what we see with that blue area right there on the water vapor map. Over here in the Pacific Northwest, we do have some cloud cover, but mostly dry because of that high pressure system that we saw on the surface map. Over here in Canada, we do have a couple snow showers moving through. Hopefully those won't make their way down south. We have a lot more snow showers over here in the Midwest. In the northern Midwest, Rapid City here is getting quite a bit of snowfall. Out to the west in Minneapolis, Chicago, the Great Lakes region, we are going to see a lot of snow, which may turn into rain as it moves across the Great Lakes region. Over here in the northeast, here's the other side of that stationary front that's moving through right now, bringing in a long line of pretty much rainfall right now because temperatures aren't low enough to produce snow. But as we make our way a bit to the north, those temperatures are below the freezing point, so we are going to start to see some mixed precipitation and snow make its way into northern New York and possibly into Vermont. Down here in the southeast, it is dry as we stated all weathercast. Except down here in Miami, we can see this line of showers start to move across the state and off of the coast. And on Texas radar in the beautiful state of Texas, we are dry right now. We do have that high pressure system that is dominating down here in the south, so that's going to keep a lot of the moisture out of the Texas region right now. The big picture, looking at our watches and warnings, this is probably the least amount of watches and warnings that we've seen on this map pretty much all winter as far as I can think of. Up here in North Dakota and the Minneapolis region, we do have a winter weather advisory, and as I mentioned, we also have one in upstate New York right now. Those are something to keep an eye out on if you live in those areas, but for a majority of us in the U.S., we are not going to see any of these watches or warning, which is great news in terms of protection of your homes and property. Bad news if you are a weathercaster. Our storm outlook, of course, is going to be nice and clear. As for tonight, we are going to see temperatures pretty moderate across the U.S. No too low points, 28 up here in Minneapolis, but for them, that is not too bad. Down here in Tallahassee, our low point will be 37. As we make our way into tomorrow, we are going to see moderate temperatures throughout the U.S., around the mid-50s to upper 60s as you make your way down south. But Riley is now going to give us a look at the life more locally.
Yeah, that warm temperatures that we are seeing in the south, that is seen right here over Doak Campbell Stadium. It is 61 degrees. That's not the warmest temperature, but it is a lot warmer than most of the country right now. And just notice how dry it is out there, not seeing a cloud in the sky. And that just shows us how cold we woke up this morning. 27 degrees was our low temperature. That's probably one of the lowest temperatures we've seen all winter long. And it's so dry that it allowed us to reach a high of 64 degrees. On average, we're about 67, so a little bit lower than average, but we will rebound in no time. Right now, we see it's very dry out there because we don't have any clouds, any rain on our radar right now. And that's a common trend over much of the state of Florida. Miami finally getting rid of some showers that worked through earlier today. So the Sunshine State's about to get real sunny, and in Tallahassee, we're going to be so sunny we won't even be seeing that any cloud cover really until maybe for your day tomorrow towards the sunset hours. Could see a couple clouds in the sky, but that is really all for us. And local temperatures, we are around that 60-degree mark everywhere. 58 degrees there in Apalachicola, so this is kind of mirroring our ocean temperatures right now as well. Into tonight, it is very dry, so we are going to get a little bit colder here. 35 degrees in Tallahassee, staying a little bit warmer along the coast in the low 40s. Thomasville, you'll be at 36 degrees this evening. Now for our night tonight, there is that 34 degrees, very clear conditions. Probably will be a good night to stargaze if that is something you are interested in. And for our day tomorrow, we'll warm up, flirting with the 70s, if not getting there, like places such as Quincy. It will be a very nice day to get outside, do some outdoor activities, and not worry about being freezing colds. 9 a.m. will be a little cold, 43 degrees. I would wait to walk your furry friends until around that noon, 3 p.m. hour. We'll reach up into the 60s, flirt with the 70s as we head later in the afternoon, and that will be perfect weather just to go to a dog park, walk around. Even if you don't have a dog, why not walk around? Now, for your Thursday, tomorrow, we'll be at 69 degrees. Look it, we don't really have any rain chances getting past that 70-degree mark for your Friday. And this weekend, watching the Super Bowl, Saturday will be a good day to get outside, a little chilly for our Sunday, so bring those activities indoors. And then, early next week, we're staying dry and temperatures rebounding to mid-70s by Wednesday, Allianne.
Yeah, so we do have a really pretty week ahead of us for the Big Bend region. But right now, we're going to take a look at all our area cams. You can see those really pretty skies, those beautiful sunsets. Right now, those clear skies and high pressure really showing off. So here's a view over Doak. That sunset I was just talking about, just gorgeous. You see all those colors really fading in as we make our way into the night. For airport delays here in Tallahassee, there is none right now because of all those clear skies and dry weather that we have been having. And then as we look into the rest of the nation, we do not have, if we have delays or not, but we do have very great temperatures throughout the rest of the U.S. For your dog walk forecast, It is going to be very chilly at 7 a.m. tomorrow at 35 degrees. So if you have a husky, you might want to walk them then because they do like the cold. But if you have a smaller furry friend without as much fur, wait till around 11 so they can get out and enjoy those warmer temperatures. Tonight, it is actually not great stargazing conditions as we do have a almost halfway full moon. So that moon's really going to throw off those the lighting. So tonight, probably not the best night to go look for some constellations. Big announcement though, we do have a game in the Tuck tonight against Pittsburgh at 9 p.m. My bad, and the temperature is going to be 48. So do take your jacket if you're walking to the stadium. But it is going to be a big game, and let's go cheer on these Noles for a hopeful victory. We haven't seen one of those in a while. As for your school week planner, going into Friday, we do have clear conditions. We're going to be in the 70s tomorrow and Friday, but we're going to start off pretty low in the 30s. So early in the morning, bring your jacket on the way to class, then you can ditch it if you do have an afternoon class. But as we make our way into Saturday and Sunday, we are going to see those clouds develop, and so we are going to be a little bit cooler throughout the day, maybe reaching the 60s on Sunday, but probably not likely. But our lows are going to be in the 40s, upper 40s on Sunday. For now, I'm going to go ahead and let Ian and Josh wrap up our show.
Thank you so much, Allie-Ann. So yeah, pretty much locally, we are pretty quiet right now weather-wise.
Yeah, it's certainly a difference than we seen last week. It was pretty rainy and dreary last week.
No, right. I remember even the beginning of this week, it was pretty cloudy conditions.
Yeah.
I know we had a lot of rain move through Monday night.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see finally some clear skies. We can get out there with a bit of a warmer temperature during the day, although it is getting pretty cold tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly that time of year where it's jacket weather in the morning, and then you have to start taking off some of those layers in the afternoon.
Yeah, but still, hey, it's much nicer than having to stay bundled up all day and trying to avoid going outside. I know
Absolutely.
I went outside today after my class, and I was like, wow, it's actually kind of warm out.
It was, yeah, no, absolutely. I walked to class at 8 a.m. There was frost on the ground, and by the afternoon, it was almost 70 degrees.
I heard that when you saw that frost, you actually had the opportunity to go up and observe it.
I did. I touched it. Yeah.
Yeah, how was it?
It was an experience. It really was.
Hey, that's great to hear. You know, here at FSU Weather, we are very interested in weather. So anytime we see some spectacular things, especially here in Florida, like some frost on the ground, we want to go up and observe it.
Of course, of course.
Right, but some things that we've got coming up, you know, we've got the Super Bowl on Sunday in LA that we were talking about.
It's going to be a warm one. Absolutely. It's record warms, potentially.
Wow, that is right. And nationally, we are quiet as well, except for those couple winter pop-ups near the Great Lakes. But pretty much the U.S. is quiet weather-wise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But you can go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter at FSU Weather. Check us out on there.
You can also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
We're always posting some new content, and you might be watching us live on YouTube right now, where we stream Monday through Friday at 6 p.m.
And finally, Instagram at FSU Weather.
And, you know, a perfect opportunity for you to send in an image to our FSU Weather Instagram is if you see dew on the ground.
Absolutely, yep.
But for now, Aaron's going to give us a look at the final 7-day.
That's right, Josh. One last look at our 7-day forecast. We'll see those 70s this weekend as we progress into the weekend. We will have another cold front that will come in on Sunday. It will bring us actually into the 50s for highs, but we will move in gradually into the 60s for our high temperatures as we get into the beginning part of next week. But those low temperatures will stay chilly throughout the rest of the week. Have a great night.